Turn
Okay.
on screen share.
We turn on, okay, yeah, I think we turn on screen share. We got that. Yes.
You should have share audio on.
Mhm. Yeah. No, that's okay. That's all right. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. Nope, that's it. All right, thanks. Okay. Hey, Alan, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
I can't complain. What about yourself, sir?
It's working. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is almost part of the pre-show. Pretty soon, we're going to probably like have a little caption at the site there saying like people that are sponsoring our Zoom shows or our radio shows. And we have an intern that's doing a fantastic job lining up these businesses. And so we're getting there. So, you know, big things on the horizon. And I want to let you know that if you're watching Innervision, do the thumbs up. And okay, do the thumbs up and share the show. We really appreciate that. And if you would subscribe to our feed, that'd be great. You can see us on Wednesday nights as well on channel 56, Denver Comcast channel 56. And I think it's a way that you can stream it if you don't live in Denver, which I will find out more about that from the guys at Denver Open Media. All right. And of course, my book out there is 6 Shades of Blindness. I am re-editing the digital book. So the paperback is out there. So eventually the paperback will match the edited version that we're working on. And so that's always an interesting project. And if you would like to be a part of the show or be on the show, info at innervisionfm.com. If you'd like to support us, go to paypal.me/innervisiondenver. That's paypal.me/innervisiondenver. All right, Alan. So, are you there?
We got a bit of a packed show for everybody tonight. There's quite a few things going on. We've got the debt ceiling being postponed until Thursday, the vote for that. So I guess we're going to have to kind of wait and see whether the government will actually default for the very first time ever on its obligations. I've heard that some of the Senate parliamentarian actions of today have pretty much stopped everything. You've got Senators Joe Manchin, Democrat, as well as Kirsten Sinema, also Democrat, who are kind of holding up the show in a way. So we'll just have to see what does transpire. Now, interestingly enough, quite a few experts are talking about the possibility that those that subsist on Social Security income, supplemental Social Security income, whether it be disability or whether it be SSI, whether it be just your retirement income through Social Security, that may be delayed in as much as a week or two or even a month down the line. It's important for folks to note that the Treasury has fund set aside separate from the main funds. So basically, although our illustrious federal government does tend to borrow quite a bit against the Social Security fund, the Social Security fund is set up on paper as being a separate entity. So theoretically, we're not supposed to be affected adversely by this, but there's always this chance when the elected officials decide that they want to look at shutting down our government. This is pretty much a new thing. It was unheard of until, well, as far as I know, it was unheard of until the Obama administration.
And have you heard the talking points that Psaki and Biden and everybody else is saying that it's going to cost the American people zero? And I don't know if they, and I know, everybody's not hasn't studied finances, but how can you spend $3 trillion and it not cost anybody anything? And I'm not sure why these people think that we're so stupid that we don't know that that if you spend this kind of money, and you say you're going to charge the corporations, that the corporations, they're not going to pay that because they're there to make a profit. So they just raise the cost of items and pass it on to the consumer.
That's absolutely right. There's two types of inflation. Actually, there's three types of inflation. You've got your general type of inflation where cost of living raises, where you've got materials and goods costs, the prices for those being inflated. And then you've got what they call stagflation, which is a form of inflation. But what ends up happening is the prices spiral out of control and the economy begins to stagnate as a result of that. Most notably, the idea, which has been pushed over the last few months, where folks would get paid more to stay home than they theoretically would to go ahead and go back to work. Because of the $15 minimum wage proposals, all the way up to $26 minimum wage proposals, it's certainly driving people to want to stay home until they pass these huge minimum wage hikes, which are actually going to have the potential to destroy small business as we know it.
And they don't know that, by letting the market compete with each other, that's a better plan than the artificial raising things over here. And then also, I heard this morning where Biden's regime is going to pay the what do they call unions extra bonuses. I think about $12,000 to $14,000 to produce these electric cars. So if you get this $12,000 to $14,000 rebate, but if you're a non-union company, you get no rebate. So of course you have to raise your prices to cover whatever costs you have. So he's pitting the union, they'll go ahead and vote for him because they say, oh, look, they gave us this rebate against the non-union car dealerships. So that's another way where they try to divide us as Americans and as American workers. So it's another thing, people, that because
I was looking into that, the price of the batteries for your basic Toyota Prius, let's say, which is a hybrid vehicle. It's a combination gas electric power plant. you can theoretically pay as little as $342 per battery. So these batteries, first off, they don't last forever. They're lithium ion batteries. They contain rare earth minerals, which are owned by China. At least China currently owns right around 83% of the Earth's rare earth minerals. And with their negotiations with Pakistan, as opposed to us going ahead and negotiating with them, I'm sorry, not Pakistan, but Afghanistan, they're in a position where not only do they have a goodly portion of the rare earth minerals necessary to create the anodes, cathodes, and the mining of lithium for the lithium ion battery cells, the power cells. With the addition of the rare earth minerals gleaned out of Afghanistan, and the fact that the Taliban is allegedly in negotiation with China to go ahead and make sure that that rare earth mineral lock is achieved. Man, we're setting ourselves up. Now, I will tell you this. It costs about $1,000 to go ahead and create a brand new battery with all the power cell technology and everything else. The retail cost of the battery is arrived at after a large portion of these batteries have already been mass produced. So oddly enough, to mass produce these batteries, it costs well over $1,000 per battery. Then they go ahead and they sell them at a market reduction cost of $342 on average. I don't know how that works exactly. It's quite fascinating, really.
Yeah. And then another thing people have to think about is that, say you have a mall full of electric cars, then you have to have a charging place for each one of those cars, and we don't have the infrastructure to put all these charging places in the parking lots of stores, shopping centers, and even at gas station places to convert those over to these electrical charging places. So once again, the Dems are putting the horse before the buggy, or putting the buggy before the horse in this case, and they are creating a problem which I don't think they can solve. Like some of these other problems, they like to cause problems and then come in and then find the solution for it, if that is possible. So it's this whole Green Deal ALC has just totally I don't know, something that's going to wreck our economy and put us back into the mid-century where we'll have to light candles because the light switch won't go on, because we're waiting for the sun to give the solar panels the power to power the house, or the windmills, and or whatever else they come up with to replace fossil fuel, which we have plenty of. So anyway, it's this of course is a scheme to put money in the pockets of politicians as well. So don't forget that part of it. So everybody is getting their hands greased, from Democrats to Republicans to everybody in between who is in that circle. So
keep in mind, folks, we're going to have theoretically, potentially, well over 200,000 more folks hired by the IRS to make sure that when we have a transaction of $600 or more, doesn't matter whether it's a monthly transaction, doesn't matter whether it's just your basic Venmo transaction. Let's say if somebody wants to go ahead and donate to you, to innervisionfm.com, let's just say, if they go ahead and they make a donation of over $600, that's going to be tracked potentially by the IRS. Very interesting place that we find ourselves in, where our most esteemed president, the most popular elected president in history, theoretically owes as much as $500,000 in back taxes himself, but yet, wants to make sure that we, the average American Joe or Josephine, pay their fair share. Very interesting point that it just boggles my tiny little mind.
Yeah, and also I wanted to put it people, if we want to come into our Zoom meeting tonight, and you have some comments, or you just want to listen in the room, our personal meeting, the meeting room number is 952-743-3282, and I can give that again, just in case if you weren't ready for that. So it's 952-74 and then 3282. Okay, quite easy. And don't forget the 13 soldiers that our government allowed to be bombed, and hundreds of Afghans that were bombed with that person with the body bomb, and then the 7 children and the 3 adults that the Taliban advised them that these were the ones who caused it, which it was just innocent people that our government also bombed with their and I forgot what that thing is called, the helicopter, those little drones. Yeah, the drones. So don't forget that as they are drilling the army, the military, on what they knew and who gave what advice to this man in the regime now, Biden, which he says that no one told them about doing the opposite. And the guy says, yes, we told him as well, that they shouldn't, move all the military out before getting the people out. So once again, when the truth will do, a Democrat will lie. Okay, it was topic number 2, which I had to look at my list again, unless you have it there.
Which do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about R. Kelly, or do you want to talk about the other one?
What do I say? Oh, I just had it. Choose the second one. Let's see. Okay, where? Oh, I'm at the bottom. Let me go. Okay, so we already did the topic, the talking points about the talking points about the 3 trillion not costing the American people. Let's talk about John Hinckley.
For those that don't know about who John Hinckley is, he was the individual who was imprisoned for attempting to assassinate President Ronald Reagan back in 1980. Was that 82? 82, something like that. Yeah, it looks like he is up for parole, or he is up for release, I should say, sometime next year. Is that right?
Yeah. And did you know, I didn't know this, that he has a YouTube channel.
Wow, you can put YouTube channels up in prison?
Apparently so. I guess maybe this is federal. Well, is he in a mental institution, or is he in a prison, like federal prison? So anyway, I guess he has
That's actually a fine question that I do not know the answer to. I do know that for the longest time, he had a big old crush on somebody called Jodie Foster for a while. She played in Silence of the Lambs, as well as a number of other, things. But
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just thinking so he's playing guitar on his YouTube channel, and this judge, which I'm not sure who this judge is, and what the mindset is, says that they see that John Hinckley has a promising future when he's released. And of course, Sirhan, who assassinated Robert Kennedy, probably the judge is going to say that he has a promising future. And I think what these banditos forget to see that these people, the press guy in with Reagan, he was shot in the head. One of the CIs, where he was shot in the back, one was shot in the chest, and then of course the bullet grazed and went within like a half an inch of Reagan's heart before they were able to get him into the car, and they have recordings of the back and forth talk as far as like when they were deciding if they were going to go back to the White House or go to the hospital, and that is, if you get a chance to listen to that, that's fascinating. Like just just the documentation of what happened on the day in those 6 shots that changed the lives of the people that were Reagan just, I guess, gave a speech and was walking to the limousine to go back to the White House. And I don't know, it's just, just really, and I guess Hinckley had been practicing how to, unlike a lot of like gangsters, the rappers and these wannabe gangsters and who are gangsters, I don't think they go out to a gun range and practice how to shoot. But Hinckley had went out to a gun range and practiced how to shoot, and he did a pretty good job. And fortunately, he didn't accomplish what he wanted to accomplish, to impress this actress. And to think that after 4 decades that he wouldn't want to impress somebody else by doing something else crazy. I don't know. I like to think that people can be rehabilitated, but don't know. Don't know about this one. I think he should have stayed in for
I could definitely see that, where if he was given life sentence for his crimes, which I don't know if that's what he was given. Almost sounds to me like I'm going to have to do some research and find out whether he was actually put into a mental facility or whether he was imprisoned. I know that for a bit he wanted to have the insanity plea stick. Mm-hmm. I just can't remember for the life of me whether that insanity plea was allowed to stick or not.
Yeah, and I guess when they release it, it's going to be unrestricted. And I don't know. It's just like, when they do this and they disrupt and take a life permanently, and it wasn't like he was some kind of teenager. His mind wasn't developed. I mean, he was old enough to know better, but mental, and it wasn't the gun, as many of these left-wing people want to blame the gun. It's the person with the gun that
I remember as that was playing out, a lot of people were of the mind, correctly so in my opinion, that guns don't kill people. People kill people. Guns are just a tool. So a wrench could kill a person just as much as
Hmm.
a gun, except for the bottom line. A wrench is just a wrench, and it's only a weapon when it's being wielded. Same with a gun. Except for a gun has a specific purpose.
Right. Now it's okay. Let's compare this to like you got 40 years. Well, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 40 years. Now, R. Kelly was just convicted, and they showed it. I heard an audio video where I guess he was in Ethiopia, and he put it in one of the songs. If you got your passport and you got your shot, you can come to America with R. Kelly. And so he was out there recruiting, I guess, women to traffic here in America. And I wouldn't believe it. And this, I heard it. I heard the recording, and I said, wow. I mean, and this is when like the light was being shed on the thing. And I'm thinking like, okay, you're a famous, R&B star. Why add this on your repertoire of things that you find amusing to do? And then I guess that video came out, that documentary, and that's what put the nail in the coffin, was when that came out. And what can you say? I mean, it was right there, clearly, the victims and the parents of these girls who he groomed and got them so scared that they thought they couldn't leave the hotel. And the parents were outside the hotel asking, calling for their daughters to come out and come back to the family. And
Right.
he had a game. He had a game going on. So, but they want to put him in for the next 100 years. And
106 years.
Yeah. And that's just one place. He still has charges in another state. So I don't know. It's like, I'm trying to figure out, like, how do you get to the point where you think you can get away? Nobody around him said, hey, R. Kelly, if you get caught, it's not going to go well.
That's right.
And I'm not sure how people, just like Weinstein, he has all these movies out here, and he says, hey, in order to be in my movie, you have to do these things, And I'm sure Weinstein is not the only one in Hollywood. He's just the one that they said, well, we have to have a sacrificial lamb, and you're it. And I'm sure there's a lot of Weinsteins in Hollywood, and people like Oprah who gave him a pass, and other people like that who for many years gave him a pass, know of others like him, and people in the music business. There might be stuff going on right now in the music business that people are giving a pass. What was that guy? He did the Tower of Wall music. Phil Spector. He would go to parties and he would point guns at people, and people would say, "Oh, Phil, put away the gun. Stop joking around." And then finally, the gun went off. And if it's almost like, you're hanging out with people that are mentally dysfunctional, and you let that behavior continue until something bad happens. But you don't step in.
Right. You don't step up and say, hey, that is wrong. And that's an interesting point of view that happens everywhere, whether it be in the entertainment industry, whether it be in the political arena, or whether it be just in our lives. It is regular everyday people. Every day that we live and breathe, we've got a choice to do things the correct way, the right way, the way that, without getting all God on people, the God way, or not. And if we choose to step outside of the umbrella of what God's provisions are, we're sooner or later going to be at a place where the accountability will come.
Yeah, and with about a minute and a half left in the show, people, if you know someone that has like going through some mental stress problems, here in Denver, you can dial 211 or 311 to find phone numbers for mental stress and suicide lines. If you are experiencing mental problems and you're not on whatever medication that you need to be on, or that you need to seek some help, some counseling, like I said, in Colorado, it's 211 and 311 that can get you some numbers that you can call, or you can call, even like I would even think like Denver General and stuff like that, and let them know that, hey, you're having these mental stress problems and you think that you might hurt yourself or hurt others, or a neighbor that you think may hurt themselves or hurt others, and hopefully you're not lying about it, and it's legit, because that happens as well.
Right.
But anyway, just heard good news from Peter. He just got our web guy. He just got an interview, and put a prayer out for him that he'll get that second interview. He's going to go to the first interview, and he's going to get that second interview because when the pandemic came over and all that stuff, the station that he's working for, I guess they sold the station, and then for some reason decided to boot him out and bring in some other people. So he's been out of work for a while. So keep our web guy Peter in prayer, and that this next opportunity will come his way. Okay.
Amen. Amen.
All right. So you know what? I want to get back to our meeting. Okay. So that's going to do it for tonight. Remember to share the show, subscribe, follow us, and we definitely need your donations. PayPal.me/Innervision Denver. That's PayPal.me/Innervision Denver, and watch the show on channel 56 as well. And that'll be a blessing. God bless you in that.
Amen.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right. See you later. I guess I'm gonna close everything.